East Stroudsburg University men's basketball. The Warriors winning the PSAC East regular season title tonight, 102-44 over Bloomsburg. Obviously had an eye on Cheyney as well, and the Wolves came back and beat West Chester, so you win the PSAC outright, 21-5 overall, 18-4 in the league. You've been part of 3 PSAC East titles now. What does this mean to the program?
Well, first of all, tonight we had the opportunity to honor 5 seniors. Gerald Bridges, Dan Clapp, Blair Ramsey, Dwayne Johnson, Terrence King. And if you look at their body of work over the last 4 years, to this point, 2 NCAA championships, 2 East championships, PSAC championship outright. It's the most successful tenure of any 4-year group of players. So for them tonight on senior night to be able to clinch PSAC East is a great way for them to even more so solidify their legacy.
You knew coming in tonight you could clinch at least a share of the East title. When we talked after the West Chester game, you just said you had to get off to a better start, and you did that tonight.
Well, we hadn't been playing very well, and West Chester smacked us in the face the other day, and I think our guys realized that. We had some injuries up to that point before it. Whis Grant and a couple other guys were banged up a little bit, but at this time of the year, every team, as we talked about before in the country, is. Tonight we got off to a good start. I thought everybody really played the game plan well. Fortunately for us, we were able to play a lot of people, and which is good for young players as they develop as well. I mean, Wes Cherry came off the bench tonight. In 14 minutes, he had 18 points. So all those things bode well for the future of the program. And when you're transitioning, saying goodbye to your seniors, it's good to see your freshmen and sophomores and juniors be able to show that they have the ability to hopefully keep this going.
You mentioned the 5 seniors. Obviously, Dwayne and Terrence have been all-conference players. Tonight, within about an 8-minute stretch, they both hit 1,300 career points. You'd be hard-pressed to say 4 years ago you knew they could have this kind of career. But to really parallel what they've done, they came into the year tied with 951. Now Dwayne's got 3 more than Terrence after 115 games. That's got to be something pretty cool for you.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 guys have, when you talk about the legacy of your team, obviously there's 5 guys there. They're seniors. The 2 guys that really stick out on the body of their career are Dwayne and Terrence. They've been kind of the face of the program. Terrence being a local guy, sometimes he gets a little bit more of the local press than Dwayne. Dwayne's been the guy that's had a couple more all-conference accolades under his name. So the interesting thing is they're also roommates. So not only are their numbers parallel, but they're also roommates and great friends. And they're going to take this experience and probably when they're 60 years old, look back on it and tell war stories, which is a great thing.
Yeah. Other guys tonight who impressed you. You mentioned Wes Cherry coming off the bench, but really as you go through the box score, seemed like just about everybody played pretty well.
Everybody contributed. I thought Lamont Tiller has been playing great for us. He did a real good job. Malcolm Richardson put together some nice minutes for us, and you could go down the list. Dejan Tobin didn't have a ton of points, but I thought he was. And I told him this after the game. Coming out of the post, we ask our 5-man to be mobile and get people shots by setting screens from behind vision, especially when teams are in zone. He got a lot of people really good shots tonight by coming out of the zone and setting some screens for people. So, even though it wouldn't show it in the stat sheet, it's reflected on the quality of shots that he got other people, which is a great thing.
You have 21 wins at this point. Obviously, you're not going to play for 6 days until Tuesday night. PSAC quarterfinals here. I'm sure something that your guys had targeted back at the start of the season to get a home game at this point.
Yeah, when we started the year, we went to West Virginia, and we ended our season last year at West Virginia, West Liberty, and we walked into the locker room one day, and they had on the board sweep the tournament in West Virginia, which was Alderson, Brawless, and Shepherd, which we were fortunate enough to do that. And the second thing was win the PSAC East, and that was there. So at this point, there were still a couple more goals on that board, but at least they've accomplished the first 2, which, anytime you're a college basketball team, you don't know what's going to happen with injuries, illness, those type of things, or even how you're playing. And this group's done a great job. Even through the losing, they were receptive to what we were talking about. And tonight I thought they got back to playing a little bit like we want to play.
You've been part of all three of the East Championships, the head coach in 2010 and assistant coach under Sal in 92. Can you take a look at this team? Obviously, these seniors were freshmen on the 2010 team. Kind of how that team came together for you and how these guys contributed to that.
Well, these guys were like some of the guys that we talked about tonight. Terrence started on that team.
Right.
And Dwayne played a lot of minutes. Gerald played a lot of minutes. Predominantly, those three guys got a decent amount of run on that team, and they were the contributing factors. So as we're talking about the John Todd and Malcolm Richardson, Wes Cherry, hopefully this experience will trigger something like happened with Dwayne and Terrence. Not that those guys have had the impact that Terrence and Dwayne did,
right.
But it's still the same kind of things. They were supporting role players, and now they've taken leadership roles, and they've done a great job, as good as jobs as they've done on the floor. They're better kids. All five of those guys are better kids, and they've done a great job, in my view, of in a time where kids are sometimes hesitant to take leadership roles and mentor younger people. They've allowed the chemistry of this team to flourish under themselves, and sometimes that's hard with young people, but those five guys have done a great job of that.
When you won the PSAC title last year, a group of guys from the 1990 team were there to congratulate your guys, the 2012 guys. I anticipate maybe some of the guys from the 92 team that won the East outright might reach out to you at this point. You've won another one outright. Just what do you remember about that team? Obviously, Todd Payton, who we put in the Hall of Fame this year, was your first team All-League player, but you had a lot of outstanding players and great people on that team.
Yeah, it's and they were byproducts, a lot of those younger guys of the 90 team and 91 team that was good but didn't have anything to show for it. But the 92 team, they were resilient in the fact that they wanted to win the East Championship and do something with getting into the NCAA tournament, that type of thing. So I think there is a parallel there. Hopefully we're not done yet.
Right.
We get a game on Tuesday night to prove we can keep playing, and there's a lot for us on the line. It would be great for this group to go to 4 PSAC semifinals, but that only happens if we take care of business on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. We'll remind Warriors fans to check ESUWarriors.com for continued playoff information. Obviously, it's down to 2 teams that you might play Tuesday. I know you guys will probably be out taking a look at who you might see. So wish you the best of luck, and see you Tuesday night.
Thank you.